Well, hello again, pencil people. Here we are, video number 3. So I wanted to do a quick sort of recap on some of this pencil lingo, maybe some of the basic categories, because someone gave me some feedback and they said, hey, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. What's a long ferrule? And I thought to myself, I should probably explain some of this stuff. So we're going to do a super tight, super quick history of some of these older types of things, and we are going to dive right in and start right away. So the first thing we're going to do is cut out the first, 250 years of pencil history, just slice, gone, and start in about the 1850s. Of course, there are pencils before that, but I ain't got none of those. So we're going to start right here with this particular A.W. Faber set. These are polygrade pencils, and they came in pretty fancy, pretty snappy boxes, literally. And so you open this thing, and all of the pencils are here and accounted for. They're pretty nice, and of course all turned backwards because that's how life is. So they're great. So they're all accounted for in the box. And the cool thing about these is, I don't know if you guys can see that, the pencil lead is not round, it is square. And so when you see that, when you see the L7 graphite, it ain't new. So these are really old, 140 years old at least. Square leads, pretty cool. Like I said, snappy. So I want to make something perfectly clear. I am not the world's foremost expert on pencils. There are people far more knowledgeable than what I am. There are people who know the ins and outs of all of these things. I'm just a layman, kind of, sort of. But they ain't here, and you get me. So we're going to finish going through this, and let's go to about the 1890s, when the different manufacturers start making things that are a little snappier looking, a little prettier. And so what they're doing is they're trying to get a little bit more market share by doing things that are innovative. And so this is a Dixon tapered pencil, and they came in a set of 12 in a clamshell box. And so what you have here is you have some unique items starting to roll out about the turn of the century. This is a cool one. And then we run up into one of my favorite areas or time periods. And this is the 1900s through 1920s. And these are the long ferrules. And I think you can see why I love these things. Look at these ferrules. Ridiculous. Heavily machined. Kind of these little knurling going on here. Really cool things. And so this is actually an Eagle Comfort and a Dixon Eldorado with the long ferrule. And so in about the mid-20s, they started to standardize these things. And then we have the size of the ferrule that we have today. But these long ferrules, ooh, look at those. Nice. So if you have a bunch of these lying around, call me. About the same time period, I know, we're moving really quick, I get it. Around the same time period, early, you have all of these guys. I don't know if you can see this with the reflection, but that's an HHH pencil. And so this is so old, they didn't even have numbers yet. So there's no 3H at this point. There are the HHH or the BBB. And soon they would figure out, hey, I could save a stamp or two by just giving a number. But this, again, is a great indicator that this thing is turn of the century-ish, somewhere in there. Pretty cool. And this is actually a Kimberly by Generals, one of our last remaining pencil manufacturers here in the States. So, yay, Generals. Okay. With this sort of proliferation of fancy pencils, with all these fancy ferrules that you have, look at these two in particular. Look at this Dixon Inline. That's craziness. Look how cool that is. This one has a little ding in it. It drives me crazy, but okay. Check that out. Beautiful. Now, again, it should be noted that these old erasers are all dried up and no good, but the graphite is forever. This is a Flash with the plastic ferrule. Big nasty lump of dried out ick up on top, but still pretty cool. Then, of course, some of these things later. This is late 60s, early 70s, this Empire Mustang with a big square ferrule, plastic. And no ferrule conversation would be complete without the one. So, this is a vintage Blackwing 602 by Eberhard Faber. And, of course, you have the distinctive flat ferrule with the removable eraser. And, of course, this is the one that pencil dreams are made of. So, while not particularly tough to get in this more contemporary version, the older ones from the 30s and 40s are tough to get and pretty pricey. So save your pennies if you want to put a collection of these together. So this ends up inspiring this. And of course, this is the brand new Palomino Blackwings that we all know and love. And again, super high quality pencils, brand spanking new, but still with a distinctive ferrule on the top. So pretty smart. Blackwing is recognizable from halfway across the room. And quickly, I just wanted to mention that the Blackwing ferrule is certainly not unique. There are other pencils in the Eberhard Faber line which sported the same exact ferrule. This is a Van Dyke. And of course, the Microtomic also had the flat ferrule. And I've seen a couple other stragglers, but these are the most common ones that you'll come across. And the last for the ferrule parade here, and we love these. These are World War II era ferrules. We know that because all the ferrules are plastic and or cardboard, because all the brass was being used towards the war effort, and so no brass for you. But the manufacturers plugged on and made do with what they had available, and so you have this very specific window of time where we know exactly when things came from, and that's real nice in pencil land. We don't always know. On the other side of the ocean, this is a German pencil from about the same period. No ferrules, no erasers, no paint, no nothing. They produced naked pencils for several years in a row, and so you can find all kinds of German pencils, specifically European pencils for that matter, specifically with this unfinished natural look, which is, again, a cool little sort of historic footnote for pencil land, and so these are pretty cool. Easily recognizable and dateable, which we like.